Crusader Kings 3. This is a game I love, but actually trying to do a playthrough of this game has been challenging. Usually, by the time I'm about halfway through what I want to do, a new update comes through, breaks the save, and that's that. You can play old versions of the game which will allow you to keep playing those saves if you own the Steam version. I only had the Game Pass version, so I couldn't do it. Now though, I have the Steam version, we can finally do a proper playthrough. I decided almost immediately that playing as England or some English kingdom, which is what we've basically done every single time, wasn't what we were going to do today. I wanted something different because we've done it so many times. Instead, I decided we're going to take control of the Duchy of Apulia, I think, in Italy, and our goal is simple. We will recreate the Roman Empire. See? Simple goal. Our first Duchess and hopefully Queen will be Billy Big Nuts. Yes, really. So this is open to anyone on my Discord to become a part of this, and we have about half a dozen people in already. You can get in if you want. I used a randomised selection wheel and Billy Big Nuts won. So that will be our first monarch. It took me a little while to decide what to call our kingdom, and then I had a brainwave. The name for our kingdom, before of course we rename it to the Roman Empire sometime later, shall be Parva Roma, which is Latin for Little Rome. After spending a good amount of time designing the Duchess Billy Big Nuts, as well as making sure that our coats of arms, country name and everything like that is all what we want, and the clothing is right, we shall begin. We very much control the boot of Italy, but not a lot else, and we don't really have a great military force at this point. First, we need a husband for Billy Big Nuts, and we marry her off to Stenkilson. I know I'm butchering that, okay? Our Duchess Billy Big Nuts has two main goals: having a lot of children to secure her dynasty, and doing whatever she can in her life to expand Parva Roma and get it closer to the Roman Empire. Salerno, as a small independent part of the boot, seems like an obvious place to start. It took a ridiculously short amount of time to take it, and it was a good start for our conquest. Afterwards, Billy Big Nuts begins a campaign to choose her husband because she wants a child. The Pope also attempts to seduce Billy Big Nuts, but is quickly rebuffed. I feel like no one's ever said that before. Billy Big Nuts is an accomplished multitasker, so while she's trying to seduce her husband, she also goes to war against Crusader, a small Islamic sheikdom on the island of Sicily. However, perhaps she should have focused more on her husband, since as she was at war, he was murdered. Of course, he's almost immediately replaced by Sazbolsuk. God, these names are hard to say. Time was spent after that building up the kingdom, and then suddenly, great news! Billy Big Nuts is pregnant. Eventually, she gives birth to a daughter, Judita, and Billy Big Nuts celebrates the birth of her daughter by conquering the sheikdom of Quasriana. Sure. Soon after that, Judita is used for political benefits, as all children of royalty and nobility are, and is promised to Izaslav Rurikid. I swear at this point I'm just picking names I can't read on purpose. We also get some bad luck later, with the Kingdom of Tuscany wanting one of our counties, and we're really not strong enough to fight them yet, so we have no choice but to give it to them. War to take the final part of Sicily begins, and during that time, Billy Big Nuts gives birth to her first son, who shall be called Snorlax Slayer. This is what happens when you let people in your Discord pick the names. Aha. It was just after that we took the final part of Sicily, and then I realised I had a daughter that I didn't know about. I don't know how I missed that, but I did. It had a generic name, so I changed it to Orangina. Because, well, we don't have enough name for women. You know, if you want to get involved, Discord link in the description. And that's a throwback to the old stream series for CK3. Another son pops out, and we have another subscriber name. We have Dweegington. And now we declare war to seize one of the last two southern Italian counties, and we have another son, Ajay. And we also continue our conquest by heading south to Malta. If I'm being honest, this is a tiny little island that we don't really need, but it counts as a county. It gets us closer to empire status, so we take that in seconds. And yeah, that was so easy. We just captured the sheik almost immediately. I wish they were all that easy. Another son is born, who we call Christopher, and at last I have a character named after me. We finally take Capua, now controlling the last of the Italian states that we can, at the moment, right now. The rest are in the Holy Roman Empire or the Papacy, and we will take them, but not anytime soon. With that, though, we can finally found the Kingdom of Sicily, bringing us from a duchess to a queen. Of course, we can't leave the kingdom named that, so soon it's back to Parva Roma, with the right colours and banners and such. Our first goal was Sicily and southern Italy, and we have that, so we need a new goal. We set our sights on the island of Sardinia, which is currently split between 4 different kingdoms. Creating a foothold on those islands proved challenging, since they seem to all be allied with each other, but with the help of our allies we were stronger than we ever thought we could be, and we take it. It's only a little bit of land, but now we have a foothold, we can expand. We have another son, and I have no more names to use, so he becomes Mr. Pixel. Specifically, he is called Mr. Pixel de Pixel. Yes, really. Unfortunately though, Sazbolz, I think that's his name, gave Billy Big Nuts many children, but he did also pass away. That's okay, he almost immediately gets replaced. Billy Big Nuts only knows one way to get over the loss of a loved one, so she goes to war again, specifically for another piece of Sardinia, which went so badly I had to reload. Instead of just going back to war, we spend some time building alliances, marrying off our remaining children, regardless of age, and building some sweet alliances with that. And then we head back to take the one Islamic kingdom on Sardinia. A crusade is declared as we're busy, but we push forward and we take it, now having a significant chunk of the island. Then we go south, taking that last section, and we have half of Sardinia. And then we go on crusade, because that seems like such a good idea, going to war against the strongest empire in the world, the Fatimid Caliphate. It went about as well as we expected it to, with our forces being completely massacred, as well as Billy Big Nuts' husband, who wasn't even fighting, or there. Wuss. Oh well, husband number 4 time. We've given up on the Crusades now, which I eventually lost, and instead we focus on rebuilding our forces that we lost there. Once there, we take one part of Sardinia, then the other, and boom, we have it. I want the other island too, but the Holy Roman Empire has it, and that's not going to happen. They're not the strongest empire in the world, but they are number 2 or 3. So no. There are more islands to the west though, Majorca, Menorca, and Ibiza. They need freeing from heretics there, and adding a few more island locations to our increasingly growing kingdom. So naturally, we sail over, we swipe. Once more though, we're left not really knowing what to do, because, you know, we can't actually expand the way we want to go, which is central and northern Italy. So the answer is south. The answer is to head into North Africa and start conquering that. I mean, they were part of the Roman Empire. They were always a goal for this series. We take parts of what is modern-day Libya, and it's a little scary being here, because we're the only Christian kingdom surrounded by Islamic kingdoms, and as a result, they, who are a lot of much bigger than us, can at any time declare a holy war against us. That's how I fought against them originally. But we'll have to hope, fingers crossed, that nothing too bad happens. Our next war isn't in North Africa though, as Pisa decides to break away from the Holy Roman Empire, so we can and do swallow it whole. Our territories in Africa expand further still and furthermore as we push to take as much of Saharan Africa as we can. As we fight though, there is scandal. Count Dweegington is sleeping around and getting women pregnant. For shame, Dweegington. For shame. We continue taking more African holdings, all while Billy Bignuts continues going through her husband. She's on number 7. Real tragedy strikes during the campaign, though, as our heir, Count Snorlax Slayer, has been murdered. The throne will now pass to his son, also Snorlax Slayer, but that is something we will see next time, because now feels like a great time to end this. We've begun the Parva Roma and lived out most of Billy Bignuts' life. We've secured the succession and a lot of territory. Will little Snorlax Jr. manage to hold on to that and build out? Well, I guess we'll find out next time.